there, and welcome to the Couch Next Door, where a happy hour meets a therapy session. I'm your host, Candace Frazier, a licensed professional counselor. Each week, I'm honored to have a friend come sit on my couch, and we'll dive into an area of mental health that is impacting their world. We'll definitely laugh, probably cry, and maybe go on a rant or two, because we are all humans, full of emotions. Come hang out with us. Y'all, this was such a fun conversation, bringing my very best friend, Laura Hatfield, back on the show with one of her closest friends, Kristen Campbell, where they share all about their friendship being in very different stages of life. These two have an age difference of about 13 years, and their friendship not only started when they were in very different stages, but they have maintained a deep bond throughout, despite their lives looking very different on the outside. So Laura has been on the show several times. She even was on episode number 1, where she talked all about mental health and friendship, specifically when she was going through a very big transition in her life after divorce. I'll include all the links to other episodes that Laura's been on in case you've missed them. Kristen Campbell is a wife to Eric for 34 years and mother of Colin, who's 27, and Jack Riley, who's 22, and she's the mother-in-law to Marley. She has worked at her church for 19 years and is now the director of women's ministry. What started as a working friendship between Kristen and Laura grew much deeper, and you'll all get to hear the journey that they've traveled on with each other to be where they are today in their friendship. Also, their rants are hilarious because they each rant about each other. That was a first. And I had a nice little mini mentoring session with Kristen towards the end of the episode as she talked me through what it's like to be in the season of life as an empty nester with adult children. Spoiler alert, she says it's really hard. All right, y'all, here's my conversation with Laura and Kristen. Laura Hatfield, Kristen Campbell, welcome to the Couch Next Door. I'm so excited for this conversation. So you guys live in different seasons of life, and y'all have been friends for a very long time. And I'm excited for people to hear just how y'all did that well. Because I think there's a lot of value in having friends that are in different seasons and how that influences us as we are in adulthood. So I'm excited to hear all the things about what that looked like and how that happened for y'all. But I want you to each introduce one another so we know a little bit more about your friend. I mean, we know Laura. Laura's been on the show. She's
a regular.
She's a regular. But I want to hear about Laura through Kristen's eyes.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Laura is my fabulous friend. I always call her my young friend.
Mm-hmm.
And that came about because at our job, we worked at a church together.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of her job was doing funerals. And so I would always say,
I forgot about that.
I need you to be my young friend so you can plan my funeral.
There you go.
To this day, I send her like things on Instagram. Okay, I want this at my funeral. I don't want this at my funeral.
Oh my God.
None of this, but more of that. Okay.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
So we always like, but she is beautiful and creative, and she is a fantastic dresser. And so she keeps me hip and young. We are, how many years apart are we? We're like almost like 14 years apart.
No.
How many?
I'm 43.
Maybe just 10 years apart. 11.
I'm 43.
I'm 56.
Okay. So 13 years. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's, I mean, honestly,
my young friend, I told you.
it's not even that, but that's not even that many years, but very different seasons of life.
Yes.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
She's an empty nester.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
When
yeah.
we first met, I had a elementary school age child and
a fifth grader.
Pre-K. Yeah. And a pre-K.
Yeah.
4-year-old. So when we first met each other, that's where we were.
And I had no kids.
Married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You had just been married. Okay. Yeah. So what's a favorite memory that you have of Laura, or what's one of your favorite things about her?
Well, I mean,
She's so uncomfortable right now, by the way. You see her face.
I mean, you know, I loved working with her. I mean, I looked forward to coming to work. We had so much fun together, and I got to see her every day.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, we would, you know, see each other at work, but then, you know, we'd go to lunch together. So we saw each other a lot more than we do now. But we talk a lot now. You know, that's kind of evolved. And so, and we would do, you know, I had probably the very first thing we did together is when we went to Canton.
Oh,
Remember that?
Okay. You can't buy that. You don't need that.
Yes. So it was, I mean, that was, I really enjoyed, I mean, when she left the church, I was in a period of mourning for sure, because it was part of like,
so different.
You know, we kind of went together, like
sure,
we did everything together. And so
we did.
If I was having something, she would help me. If she was having something, I would help her, you know, so it's like a piece of me left, and it was very sad.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. All right, Laura, introduce Kristen.
This is my fabulous friend, Kristen. And just like I keep her hip with the clothes, she is very good at interior design and home goods. Not like the store, but
she does like home goods.
I saw,
it was on her form.
I know she does like the store, but she elevates it. It's not like, you know, the store. So
when y'all were in Canton, Laura, were you telling her not to buy stuff, or was she?
No, she was telling me not to buy stuff.
Okay, that's what I thought. Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. No, she was telling me not to buy stuff. So Kristen was my cube mate, and she has her youngest son, Jack Riley, would sit under his desk and draw pictures of the devil and put them on my desk and call me the devil, because
oh my gosh,
the very first Christmas party we had was super random at the church, and I guess like that we had to buy gift cards, and then they were like $25. It was very weird.
It was
and
like exchange kind of
and
thing.
then it was like White Elephant, where you had to steal. And so Kristen had Chick-fil-A, and I stole it.
Of course you did. Yes. And so
that was the game.
I'm
now
sure
you're the
I
devil.
asked for her to steal it.
That was the name of the game.
Yes.
But Jack Riley found out, and now you're the devil because you stole his Chick-fil-A gift card.
I was the devil literally until he graduated high school, and then finally drew a picture of me as an angel.
Yes.
That's cute.
So from like 4 years old to 18 years old, I was the devil.
Yes.
You were working real hard.
School. He was in middle school, and he thought she was wonderful.
But did he
really? I would
really?
come home from work, and she got off before I did, and I would come home from work, and they would be laying out in the backyard.
We would.
Yes. Her living with us is what, you know, she got kind of a snapshot into our family, and like no other friend has ever had.
Right.
I mean, you really know someone when you live with them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I was jealous. I want a family like yours. See, and that's the good thing. Like,
but that's how we really got to be
close.
Lived there.
Yeah.
And now she's able to speak into everything in our life because she knows the players,
right?
All the players, extended family, you know, everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Would y'all say that's like that? Was that the turning point where y'all got really, really close? Was when y'all were living together during that time? I mean, y'all had to have been really pretty close. For that to happen.
I think that when she was going through all the stuff, you know, in her personal life, I think that was when don't you? I mean, we were close, but.
Yeah. I think that you were definitely.
Like broke the walls down when that all.
Well, I think you were there for me. I mean, every day. Bless your heart.
It was a lot of disappointment and, you know.
Yeah.
And, you had to carry the reins. At the end, I bought her a present for having to watch me cry every day.
For being your emotional support person.
Yeah, I know. It was
like
hard.
physically
really
be
hard.
there.
It was very, very hard.
Yeah.
So she got a present.
Well,
it was worth it for the present, for sure.
Totally.
The one thing that Kristen Kristen is an excellent mother. Like Kristen she's got 2 boys, and so she does everything with those boys with excellence, and like has always made things beautiful for them. It's just been very good for me to watch, like to watch, because boys seem yucky.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or like,
well,
but
I
like
think that's like a
to watch her make their birthdays like a celebration, and to make it pretty. And when I say pretty, I don't mean like girly, but just like
but
to make it something special, and to
Yeah.
make it decorative, and to have fun. And like Kristen is a lot of fun, and I'm definitely not as fun as her, but
Yes,
I really am not.
Yes,
No, I'm really not as fun as her. Like, you're really fun. And like, and I still have not done this, but like, she will, like, once a year, she'd plan a food fight for them. Like, it was just like, she does all of these really
fun.
like
okay,
neat parenting things. And then even her relationship with her husband was always, I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect, obviously, but like, it was just something that always was inspiring. It's always, it's just watching her do life was just always something inspiring. Like, and when I did live with her for like a month, like the very first feeling I got, like when I walked into that house, like to live there, like I'd been to her house, that's whatever, but like the back door, like you can see from the front door to the back door was open. There was kids like laughing in the pool. Her husband was grilling hamburger. It was just like a very peaceful feeling. And it was just something that I was like, this is what
I want.
Yeah. Like, this is what I want. And so like, I just know her backstory, and I know where she comes from, and just that God has given her that. It's very inspiring. I know I keep saying that word, but like, it's amazing. And she just oozes this fun, loving, like easygoing, and it's like, it's meaningful.
Oh, Laura.
Man.
Thank you.
Oh. You're welcome.
Y'all just have to come on the podcast, so then you'll have to say all these nice things to each other.
I know, it's awesome. Sweet.
So,
when y'all lived together, what was that like? Like, what were evenings like? I mean, did y'all even really get to see each other much? I mean, y'all were still working together at the time, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
okay. What were the?
I loved living there.
Yeah,
I would move in a heartbeat today.
You told me that you
it
were
was
like,
kind of May.
you didn't want to leave.
It was like school was getting out. I mean, like she was there when were you were there when he went to prom, weren't you? I think she was there like when my older son went to prom.
Yeah.
So she was like part of all that.
I would take pictures.
There was lots of fun things.
It was fun. And yes, he was graduating. Wasn't he? No. Junior prom.
I think you just came in like
I came when he was graduated.
Yeah.
Well, you just became part of the family, it sounds like.
She did.
Yeah.
It was super
really
fun.
So like the younger son that called her the devil got married. And that one, I mean, like she was there helping, like she helped me completely figure out what we were going to do for the rehearsal dinner and then execute it. So it was really fun doing that.
Yeah. Well, y'all work so well together. And we're going to talk a little bit more about like the origin story. But I mean, I think that was such a foundation of y'all's relationship right out the gate, is y'all had to know how to work well together. And that has just continued even past, the time that y'all were professionally working together. It just was such a natural thing.
Yeah. We trust each other's, taste and ideas and
Yeah. Okay. Which great segue for our rants, because y'all are taking the rants in a really, really interesting turn that nobody else has done. But I think it means y'all are very close. You can be vulnerable. You trust each other, meaning y'all can also poke fun at one another. So who wants to start with their rant about their friend?
What did I say? That you would come over?
formatting. When y'all work together, what is your rant? What would Kristen do?
Well, first of all, she'd ask me to design something for her, and then she
totally
would
stressed you out. Yes.
Then she would come over and be like, "Okay." And if anybody uses Photoshop, when you move the arrow one time, it does nothing. It literally moves it over like a millimeter or whatever. Like it does nothing.
Not noticeable. Yeah.
She's like, tap it just one time. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Because like when you have to save that stuff like 8 times is like a JPEG and then a PDF and then a whatever. It takes it's like 20 steps.
Okay.
So she's like,
he knew how to do the technology and I did not.
So so I had to do everything.
Taught me a lot. Like she taught me lots of technology.
And she better be thankful that I liked her because because I would run her reports for her. If I didn't like her, I made other people. I would be like, no, you have I'll show you one time,
sister. You need to learn that. Yeah.
But I would do her reports for her.
Yeah, she was very accommodating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she would hit that arrow one time just for you, and then save it.
I did, and then
for all that, I got in exchange for her. I think I might have gotten the better end of the deal on all this.
We'll get to your rant. Yeah, hold on.
So instead, everybody said that Kristen has the eagle eye. I'd be like, no, she has an evil eye. She would make me
because she didn't like the format. Yeah,
Laura gave me an eye for details. Laura.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Don't
the
you
arrow
know?
one time.
One time. One little tap.
So let me ask: is the rant that she would make you hit the arrow and it really didn't do anything? Or is the rant that because you had to do the arrow, then you had to save it again? And that was the annoying part.
Yes, because I hit the arrow, then I gotta save it again.
Yes.
I gotta resave it. And it's like
20 steps.
It's like, it's
okay.
See, I don't know how to do Photoshop. I actually took a class, could not figure it out. I'm not very technical. Just the fact that I got all this going is really good.
Yeah. The amount of times that I showed her how to run these reports too.
Yeah.
And then finally I would just do it. Like I was like, just tell me when you need it and I'll send the email. I'll do it.
I will tell you, when she left, I wrote everything down.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
I was able to do it when you left.
I know, because you had to.
She had to. Right. She didn't have to with you there. Yes. She knew you'd do it eventually.
Yes. She knew I liked her enough to do it.
Yes. Well, she's fast too. She's like, I'm not messing around with this.
Yeah.
Well, it would take me too long to.
All right, Kristen, what's yours? What's your rant about Laura?
Well, you know what? Laura is perfect, and I have nothing to say about her.
Whatever.
Isn't she, though?
I know. You're welcome.
You know, I mean, I think my only rant about her is that she's hypercritical of my fashion choices.
Well, to be fair, she's hypercritical about anybody's fashion choices. You just happen to be one of her close friends.
You probably don't like this, do you?
That's fine.
Okay.
She said that in a real high-pitched voice.
I actually had on a different outfit, but I had my cup in my bag, and I put my bag over my shoulder, and tea went all down my back.
Oh,
so
no.
I had to put something else on. I know, it was terrible. But I think it was just, like looking for the mother of the groom dress. Oh, good gravy. It was not
okay.
good.
Oh, wait. Can we tell that story?
Yeah,
let me tell you the story about this mother of the groom dress.
Okay.
So
it was beautiful, by the way.
That picture, is that a picture at the wedding? Okay, so the picture on the graphic for y'all's episode is the dress. So this is the background story.
Let me tell you about this dress. So I sent her a dress in December, and I'm like, I really I think this dress would look really good on you. And she's like,
the wedding wasn't till June though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's kind of early. It's kind of early. Yeah.
What does that matter?
Okay, keep going. Okay.
So, but you were looking like the moment they got engaged. Yeah, which was like a year before.
I was.
Okay, so it's December. You find this dress.
It's December. I send her this dress. I'm like, this is a really great dress. you were telling me you wanted hot pink or whatever color. So I'm looking for this dress.
Yeah.
I send her this dress. It's hot pink.
Uh-huh.
She's like, I don't know. I don't want to like outshine the bride. So I'm like,
of course. Right.
I might,
whatever. Or whatever. It's too bright. It's too bright. Whatever. So I'm like, this is the color you told me. So I'm just doing, okay.
Yeah.
So like 2 months later, like I have all the receipts on my text messages.
Mm-hmm.
She does.
Her and the bride are like discussing it, and she says, "Look at this dress Marley sent me. I really like it.
It was the same dress.
It's the same dress." I'm like, "I sent you
fabulous.
I sent you that dress in December." I was like, "Why is it okay now?"
Oh, that's funny. Well, but you didn't wear.
And her favorite thing is that when I wait until like 2 days before something to try to find something to wear.
Yeah.
That's her very favorite
not
thing.
only that, but she wants me to find it on sale.
Well, of course.
Yes.
For like $2.
Yes.
She's like, "Can you find this on sale for $2, please?" I know it's $500.
She's the only one who likes to rant.
Yeah. Well, hold on, Laura. You're ranting again. This is Kristen's rant about you. Kristen's rant turned into Laura's rant.
I knew it would because she gets so mad about it.
She's in her angry era. Okay, so you also said that Laura like has a look of disapproval when she isn't crazy about your outfit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Also, do you like that? She goes, yeah. Yeah.
So what do you want her to do instead? What should she say instead? Do you like that she does that?
She really likes to say, "I think you can do better."
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's her favorite thing to say. "I think you can do better."
Okay.
So.
Well, true. I think you can do better.
Yes, she does. No, I love the way she dresses the best.
Yes, she does. Yes.
She dresses the best.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, she's your girl if you need to find something.
She is.
She will get on the scavenger hunt for sure.
When I took on this new job, I'm like up in front of people more, and she's really been helpful,
Yeah.
And
I try. I try.
She does try. She does. So
she tries to not be judgy and helpful.
I have so much on my, like, I think about a lot of other things besides that, and I really need to be thinking about that. And so,
well, but you have Laura to do that.
Really
so,
do.
yeah.
I try.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I love it. I love that y'all went on a rant about each other. That's great. First. That's a first here, folks. Okay. Are y'all ready to jump into our questions?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I have to admit, Kristen, like I feel like I have very much benefited from y'all's friendship as well, because Laura and I will have conversations, and because I also have 2 boys, and I'll say, well, what would Kristen do? What would Kristen say to do about this situation? Because you are a few steps ahead of us. You have also raised boys, and I think there's with us that we're girly girls. I mean, I was a girly girl, and I'm like, well, at first I was like, I don't know what to do with boys. So it is nice to have a mom that has done this a few steps ahead of us that can kind of help us know, what to stress about, what not to stress about. So I have to admit, I've very much benefited from this friendship. The two of y'all have
I'm glad I could be of service because, I'm from a family of girls. And I didn't know what to do either.
Yeah.
But my husband has boys. I mean, my husband he's one of 2 boys.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that helps. He helps because I was always, walking around trying to keep them clean.
Yeah.
He's be like, let them be boys.
Right. Well, and there's just so much benefit to having a friend that has, that is in different seasons of life. And we'll talk about how y'all both sort of influence each other in different seasons. But I know for Laura personally, just because, I have actual conversations with her, that it has been so helpful to have somebody that has gone before her in this stage of life. So, so y'all said that y'all work together, but how did y'all really get really close? What's the origin story of how y'all became as close as you are today?
I helped her a lot because I sat next to her.
Yes. Okay.
And my job was originally kind of slow, and she was a mom, and I don't know how she feels, but I kind of I felt like you were running back and forth a lot. You worked part-time and you were doing a lot of stuff you had 2 boys. And so my job was slow at that time. Like I worked for a gentleman that he did a lot of his own stuff. And so I would try to help out different people as much as I could, just because I was full time. So I just would always try to help people as much as I could. And so, and I just really liked her. So I was like, and she was next to me. So I was like, I'll help you. And
I think we really spent a lot of time together.
Yeah. I mean, just
every day, we spent a lot of time, that's truly.
Well, and
we were just next to each other.
Well, but okay. Yes, that helped. But I also think, and I think this is important for people to hear. I mean, Laura is 13 years younger than you, Kristen. It would be easy to say, I have nothing in common with this girl. Like, she's newly married. She doesn't have kids. Like, she's not running around. And Laura, the same with Kristen. Like, I don't know what to do I don't know how to talk to this person. She's got 2 kids and she's in the thick of it and all of that. I mean, I think it's very easy for people just to have this perception of, on the surface, we don't have anything in common, and sort of discount the ability to connect. So how did y'all, I mean, was that even something that y'all thought about?
Well, I think you took a lot of interest in my life, Laura. You took a lot of interest with my kids.
I did.
I wanted to know. And, of course, I would work on some things at work for my children.
Sure.
She would help me with.
Yes,
and so it was kind of, it was just fun doing that. I mean, we just had a lot of fun doing that kind of stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a really boring job, a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And we kind of and then I think too, so then we both were on we ended up having a women's committee because the pastor retired and his wife kind of retired. And so then we had a women's committee that we were both on. And I think that's, to be honest, that's also kind of where we
were serving together.
Yeah, we started serving that together. And then her son started in the youth group and I started working in the youth group. And then we started, there was a lot of serving, overlap.
Yeah.
As far as serving and that kind of stuff. And so I think just our lives kind of intertwined a lot. And so we just kind of were thrown, we just worked a lot together. As far as
I work with I still work with the same amount of people now, in our office.
Yeah.
I don't have the relationship that I have with them that I have with Laura. And I think a lot of that has to do, and I go to lunch with them like I did her, but she really took an interest in my life and wanted to be a part of that. A lot of, her husband was in med school.
Yeah.
She had time on her hands.
Sure. Right.
She had a lot more time on her hands. And so she was she was willing to do, go run around with me and, do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, and I think that really makes a difference. I think about the conversation I had with the woman that talked about just what friendship in singleness looked like. And that was a very similar thing that she talked about. She was like, I'll just come over and fold laundry with you, or let's go get groceries together. Just finding opportunities to integrate yourself in somebody else's life, specifically when you're in different seasons, I think allows for that opportunity to influence one another, and also just to get to know that person even on a quicker, deeper level than just how, if y'all had just worked together and that would have been it. It's not that y'all wouldn't have enjoyed one another, but it created a depth that I think, not everybody gets if they're not intentional in that sort of way. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What would y'all say is your favorite thing about your friendship?
I think that we're pretty honest with each other. I feel
reference the rant. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
But I also feel we don't get defensive either when we're honest with one another. I feel she can tell me stuff. I feel especially with raising Stefan and having, she's been there, done that. So I want her opinion. I want her to tell me. And
you want her to speak into your life.
Really,
and without holding back.
she's around stuff that, like, I don't know.
She
And
knows
so
him.
like,
So if she's saying something about him, you can trust.
And and I'm not going to get my feelings hurt, or, I mean, it may sting a little. I know her heart, and so like, it's not coming from somebody that is just random, like, and she's around him and she's been there, she's done that or whatever.
Right.
And so,
well, I think it also helps to hear things from people that, like when my friends would tell me something and we had kids the same age, it was easy to get defensive.
Yes.
Like,
agreed.
Your son's no better. I mean, that
right.
kind of thing. It's
Very,
there's no competition there in that regard. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier. And I felt like, when the mothers that I was friends with my kids, it's real easy to get competitive. And I can't believe your son's acting that way. I mean, just being judgmental with them too. And so,
yeah, I think that's what
I think being in different seasons really helps.
Totally.
So, and like she was saying, she's very honest with me too about, because I'm going through a whole nother set of, I mean, I have a new daughter-in-law. I have, adult children who are working, we're empty nesters. And so she's very honest with me just about what she sees. There, from the outside looking in, what she sees, when I talk about my struggles with that. And I'm honest with her about what those struggles are. I really
she has a mom that you take care of. That's a lot. Like, I mean, just a mom that you have to, I mean, that's a lot of your time and effort. And I mean, and like watching, again, she's a step ahead of me. So watching her do all that very well is
the caregiving.
Is very, she does all of that with excellence. So
yeah, inspirational.
It is inspirational.
It is. That's the word of the day.
Say, I want to finish strong. I want to finish. I want to have no regrets, about that part of my life.
I know, but you do it very well.
Yeah, that's hard. That's a really hard place to be in. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, piggybacking on that, y'all are really honest with each other. So I mean, do y'all get in conflict? What does conflict look like?
I mean,
conflict. We don't always agree.
I was laughing because I did think of one conflict that we had.
Oh.
Remember?
Her face.
I'm sure it's your fault.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a long time ago when you were in charge of the fashion show thing.
Okay.
And so she was in charge, like we had a women's committee. We didn't have like an actual women's like minister, but like Jean, this like other lady was like kind of like the head of the women's committee. And then like we all kind of, and Kristen, but was like the chair of this event, and she was in charge of this event. And like, it's very hard to tell certain people no, they can't come to an event.
Laura has a hard time.
She has a hard time with no. Yes. Yeah.
And so, we told some people they could come to the event. And so we had this conference room. Kristen literally pulled Jean and I into the conference room and shut the door. And she was like, "This is my event. We only have so many people that are up there." I was like, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." Never crossed her again. I didn't want to be pulled into a conference room. Now I'm afraid of her.
That.
What?
I can't believe I did that because now I'm the one who's like, come on.
I know.
Yeah.
Now I know, but you remember that?
I do remember it now.
Were you mad at Laura?
No, I don't even remember it.
Okay.
I didn't remember it until she brought it up.
Okay.
I mean, that was like how many years? 20 years ago? 18 years ago?
It was like 2008.
So, but this is an example of how y'all didn't agree on something, right? And how to do something. And Kristen just told you to stop.
She pulled me into a conference room.
Right.
No.
Well, you don't want me screaming at you in the whole office, did you?
No.
Okay.
And I haven't crossed her since. So it worked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so how do y'all disagree? Like, because y'all don't always agree on things. I mean, how would you advise people to do that well? I mean, y'all are very honest with one another. You don't always agree. So how do y'all navigate that?
Well, I feel like the older I get, the more I realize I'm not going to agree with my friends.
Yeah, and it's okay.
And I can still love them.
Yeah.
And we can still do life together, but I don't always have to agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think yeah, like everybody is in a, like, just because I have a boy and she has 2 boys, it doesn't mean that our boys are the exact same.
Sure. Right.
Our situations are extremely different as far as how I got my child versus how she has her children. And my child is extremely different from her children in some areas.
Well, and she's single parenting.
Yeah. Right.
And yes. And so I try to take her advice, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for my child.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's not going to work for your situation, but it's something.
And there's been times where she's told me some stuff and I'm like, Kristen, that doesn't work. Like, I've tried that, or whatever. And so, and then she'll go, well, I don't know, or whatever.
Well, so it goes back to even being honest, right? Like if y'all are talking about something and you're each sort of giving your own perspective, just being honest with, I don't like that, or I don't think that'll work, or I tried that. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
And I think too, like, you get to a certain age, like, I don't know how to say it, like, because I think about this with, like, some people, I'm like, when you get to a certain age, like, there shouldn't be, like, huge falling outs.
I know.
There shouldn't be like huge, like these huge conflicts. I mean, unless somebody really does something, whatever, but like,
the
Kristen
Real Housewives is not real.
Right.
People our age should not be doing that.
Right.
No.
Right.
Yeah. We're adults. Like, I should be able to have a conversation with Kristen and disagree with her, and she should be able to disagree with me, and we should still love each other.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, because you know each other so intimately. Like, why would there be something at this stage in y'all's friendship that would sever it? Right.
Well, the core things in our life, like our love for Jesus, our love for family and our respect for, all those things are that keeps us together. Yeah.
You'll have that core.
We're not going to be tossing our friendship aside over a disagreement.
Yeah.
Because those core things are.
Yes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that things happen, so I'm not trying to say like. Yeah. But I mean, there's some people I know, I'm like, y'all are you're in an argument with somebody every, all the time. Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
yeah. So. How would y'all say that y'all each sort of influence each other's lives being in different stages? I mean, Laura, you've talked a lot about like parenting and the family stuff, but I mean, how would y'all say that y'all each influence one another being in different stages?
Well, I don't know. For me, like, she has a very different personality than I do. Like, I feel like she definitely speaks her mind more than I do in a funny way. And like, I just feel we just have different personalities. And I think that's what, I don't know. Like, I think that is what like balances us and influences us. And I don't know if she would say that about me, but like,
I would,
because I'm younger than her, so I don't know what she would have to learn from me. But like, other than the fact that like we just have different personalities, so we look at things differently and we view the world differently.
I look at her. She has lifelong friendships, and that is I do not have lifelong friendships because it just the way I was raised. I was not raised. Well, I mean, I have like long-term friendships, but how long have y'all been friends since you were in elementary school?
Since we were 2. Yeah.
I do not have like my best friend. We've been friends since we were in college, but I had a lot of upheaval in my childhood. We moved a lot. It was hard for me to have long lasting friendships. Yeah. And there was a lot of other things in my past that kind of made me not hang on to my friends like I should have. And so I have really learned, I mean, just the way that she ministers to her friends, that has really, I've seen that. I mean, it's really made an impact on me and made me want to take care of my friendships. And that stuff doesn't just happen.
Sure.
I mean, she has to work at it. She works to spend time with everyone. And it's a lot. I mean, I know it's a lot. I see what you go through.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think, I mean, just even knowing how close y'all were because you work together, but y'all don't work together anymore, but y'all are still really close. I mean, I think that speaks to both of y'all's intentionality and the value y'all have in the foundation of y'all's friendship and wanting to maintain that and keep that going and keep that closeness. Because
she's still on the women's committee.
Okay. Well, because I think it would have been really easy just to be like, hey, that was a great season of life friend, right? Like we had a great working relationship, but, she's off doing her stage of life and she's off doing her stage of life. But that's not what happened. I mean, so how would y'all say, I mean, how have y'all been able to sort of maintain that not working together in the same capacity?
We talk every day.
I was about to say, I call her almost every day.
Okay. Well, there you go.
She'll call me and she'll say, what are you doing downtown?
Why are you in Tomball?
She'll send me those messages. Why are you? I see you're at the soccer fields. Right? Yeah.
Why are you in Round Rock?
Yes.
Why are you in Tomball?
One time, so Laura said, okay, she started dating. And she's like, okay, I'm going to share my location with you.
Yes, good.
Just in case something happens, okay?
Yes, yeah.
And so she shared her location with me, so I knew she was going on a date in Austin with someone.
Oh,
So I
remember that date.
I look at her phone, and it says she's at the Georgetown courthouse. I was like, I texted her, I was like, you're not getting married, are you?
Oh, that's funny.
What are you doing there? You're not getting married.
I was actually staying with Candace that
week.
Yes. Oh, that is funny.
So we still follow each other, so we can still see where each other.
I know. Candace still follows me too.
Yeah.
No, listen. I called her. I was leaving a baby shower in Tomball, and I got lost in this neighborhood, and she was like navigating me out of the neighborhood.
And then she's like, I want to go to Marshall's. Can you look on your map and see if there's one around here? I'm like, yeah. I like zoom out. I'm like, yeah, there's one right by you. Exit this exit.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know what? It's like your sister or your mother. I mean, you have to, if you don't live in the same city, what do? You talk every day, and that's what we do.
Yeah. No, that's good. Good. Yeah.
We gripe.
And you gripe, and you're honest. Like, I think that's, when I think about people having friends with people that are in different stages of life, I think that's huge because, because what y'all are saying is y'all are able to speak into each other's lives because you trust each other, because you're each going to be honest. It's not a shallow sort of friendship where you're just going to say what the other person would want to hear. Like, you trust that the other person is going to be honest and you can take it, and that you can give that honesty and it's going to be received knowing, the heart of the person that's giving it. I think that makes a huge difference when we're talking about friends that are in different seasons, stages of life, because that's the benefit really, is that you're able to speak that truth.
Yeah.
And one thing I think that is beneficial too is like, because we're in different seasons and because we kind of have different friend groups, like there's no competition. Like, I mean, not that we would, like, I don't do competition anyways, because that's just
no,
me,
but you're right. There's not
no
competition.
Like if she has friends that she goes out with, and I have friends that I go, like, there's no like hurt feelings.
It's separate from the
like, and because of that, I think too, like she's someone that has clarity, and she's not in the mix of all the stuff that I'm in, and I'm not in the mix of all the stuff that she's in. And so it's nice to have it like outside.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of that person too.
Sure.
Candace, like, just have an outside person that's not like, we're just separate entity.
Yeah. No, I think that does make a difference because she's not in the mix of not necessarily your day to day, but like that big friend group.
Yeah.
It is a different perspective for sure. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything that y'all have learned about friendship as a result of this friendship that you'll have with one another?
Well, like I said, I mean, watching Laura navigate her friends.
Mm-hmm.
Friends like you and her other group of friends that she's had since she was little. You have to put time in it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, and it has to be important to you.
Yeah.
And even though you would rather go home and go to bed and not go to the rodeo, you still go.
Yeah.
Or whatever, whatever it is.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Because like when I went to the rodeo, I would have much rather gone, whatever, I'm just, it really makes me like, you have to invest in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, being authentic, you have to be authentic in every area of your life, not just the surface level.
Yeah.
But you got to be, you can't, I can't listen to her sit there and talk about what a great marriage I have without being like, it's not always like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's not always like we struggle. She
Well, I know. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I know that. And
but I also think that's why y'all are able to influence each other too, is because y'all know the good and the bad, right? Like y'all know the hard and the easy. So it goes back to that honesty piece. Like I think that's where y'all are able to be honest because it's not just you're presenting the best version. Like y'all are telling each other all sides of the thing. And so you can be
good, the bad, and the very, very, very ugly.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the real ugly.
Okay, well, is there anything that we didn't cover as far as like what you would recommend to other people if they are wanting a friendship with somebody that's in a different season of life? I mean, y'all said honesty, really just being intentional, being authentic. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that y'all would, if y'all were giving somebody advice on finding a different stage of life friend, what would the advice be?
I would say you have to go first.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just wait around for this to happen.
Yeah.
You have to be willing. If there's a mom that has children who are, the stage ahead of you, you're going to have to be the one to say, hey, let's go get coffee. I want to talk. I want to pick your brain.
You have to force yourself on them because
sometimes, you do.
You really do. You can't wait around for someone else to make the first move.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like what y'all are also saying without saying it is noticing other people in different stages of life. Because I think, I mean, I know and Kristen, you probably would agree with this, but when you're in the throes of parenting, it's so easy just to get stuck in that and like hard to see outside of that. And so, to be able to have, somebody that is a few steps ahead of me in the parenting journey say, hey, I see you. And let's just go to coffee and tell me what's going on. Even to have somebody in a different stage notice you, I think that's huge. That's a way, kind of what y'all are saying is to start a friendship like that is just to notice somebody in a different stage and go first. Yeah.
I'm a mentor mom for Momco, which is MOPS. Used to be MOPS, now it's called Momco. And so I'm watching all of these new moms with babies.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I watch them, they are so good at this. I mean, they're better at it than I was. I mean, way better. I mean, they are making an effort to get there, to have other mom friends more than I did when I was that age. And then they have access to so much more information.
Sure. Oh yeah. Well, and that's probably why they make different efforts because they know it's important. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and they're great moms. I mean, they are such good moms. Just, they know all about nutrition and they do their homework on everything. I mean, I was like flying by the seat of my pants. I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, it was a crapshoot all the time. So I was like, they were really, I mean, they're very intentional. They're very good. And they're very good at they'll reach out to me and say, hey, you want to go on a walk? Because they'll want to talk about, and I think they're so good.
Yeah.
So sometimes people just need a little encouragement.
That's right. Yeah. No, I think that's really good.
Well, for someone that flew by the seat of their pants, your boys are very good.
Did pretty well for herself. Yeah.
You know what? They are, I'm in a different, the adult season right now. And I'm just telling both of y'all, it's the hardest.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. Why? Tell me why.
It is so much harder because they're not under your they're
your
not
thumb?
under your supervision.
Okay.
They're not in your home.
Mm-hmm.
The decisions that they make right now are life changers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before it wasn't. Before
right.
It was just, they might not get the best grade or they might not get in the college they want, but these things are, these are life decisions that they're making right now. And I have never prayed so hard than in this season of my life.
That is not what I wanted to hear, Kristen.
Well, no, that's good. That's good advice. Well,
I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, when you think about like just maintaining the relationship with them as adults, what has that been like?
Boys are, girls are natural communicators.
Right. Yes.
Boys, I am constant. My oldest son is not married.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is very communicative with us. I mean, he comes over and we watch TV together, that kind of stuff. But the second one, the younger one, the one that's married, I have to be the initiator on everything with him.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think that's just his personality anyways?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I think you would have to be like that anyways.
Whether he was married or not.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would
he is. He's not as social as, the older one would call me. Like in school, when he'd be walking from class to class, he'd call me. Mm-hmm. And I was always the one initiating with my younger son.
Yeah.
So it's his personality.
Yeah. So did you just have to have like sort of change your expectations or frame your expectations in a way, just knowing their different personalities and how that was going to look? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And, I invite, no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always low pressure.
Yeah.
So that when I wanted to have pressure, I can exert it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If it's something that's important for me, for them to be at, I can say.
Yeah.
But like we do family dinner night every Sunday night with them, with everybody. And then my mom comes. And my mom and my cousin live together, so they'll come as well. And it's kind of a, good reconnecting. And so, but I always say, no pressure. If you don't want to come, you don't have to, but they always come.
That's nice.
I do. Yeah. I mean, I do feel like I have to initiate the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it would be easy to get your feelings hurt if you didn't consider the different personalities, right?
Yes. Yes. Laura can tell you, through that whole wedding process, I was like, my goal is to be in relationship with everyone by the time this is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's
100%.
very easy to get your feelings hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Right.
I didn't want to be the person to hurt their feelings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's probably, I'm sure Laura, she has lots of stories that probably helped to put certain things into perspective for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What not to do. Right.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So.
All right. Well, is there anything else that we didn't talk about as far as like how y'all take care of your friendship well? I feel like we did cover that question, but is there anything that we didn't mention? I mean, y'all talk all the time. Y'all see each other. Y'all are intentional. It's all good.
Well, Laura is very thoughtful too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She's very, very thoughtful. Like she'll bring, if she knows I want something, she'll bring it to me. You know what I mean? Like food or whatever.
Yeah. For sure.
If she's getting rid of something out of her house that she knows I want, she'll bring it over and leave it on my porch for me. That kind of thing. She's just very, very thoughtful. She'll say, she'll be like, I'm getting rid of these purses. Do you want them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's real good at giving stuff away.
Yes, I know.
I do give candy for my clothes.
That generation is your generation. Y'all are so good at paring down. Like, I'm holding on to everything like a depression baby. And y'all are getting rid of. I still have like the dress I wore for my bridal showers.
Oh, do you?
Yes, and y'all are getting rid of everything. That's what Laura's dream is, to go through my closet, to get in my closet and clean it out. Get rid of stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like you're maybe a nightmare for you. She'd be getting rid of a lot of stuff.
Yes.
A lot.
It is a lot.
All right, so nothing else? We covered everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You know what? I just want to say, you really, anyone who is, you need to hold on to your friends.
Mm-hmm.
When you get married, when you have babies, because your friends are the ones who are going to bring you food.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who are going to, they're the ones who are going to watch your kids if you need to go to the doctor or
your lifeline.
They are your lifeline. Yeah, for sure.
Really do. And it's so important. And I hate that I was not better at that. I mean, I hate that I wasn't better at keeping up with my friends.
Okay, but Kristen, you're excellent now. You're bringing everybody a meal.
I mean, it doesn't just happen. You know, this kind of relationship doesn't just happen. You have to, you have to pour into each other.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I wonder though, like what you're saying, Kristen, is because maybe you didn't do that during certain stages of your life, it makes it so much more important now. And so that's likely made a big difference.
I mean, I think I told you, like, I was the very first one of my friends to have a baby. And so I was so lonely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I had my first child. I didn't have anyone who was going, you know, who knew what to do. And so I really realized and by the time I had my second child, I mean, we were surrounded by people, you know, it helped having a child, you know, that, you know, I had some friends built in with that, you know, from play groups or whatever, but it just was, I really realized, like, then I realized I need the friends. I need my family. We didn't have any family living near us. And so I really needed help.
Yeah.
So I really understood the importance of that.
Yeah, that's good. Well, and I think just, again, going back to what y'all are saying is going first, being authentic, being honest, like those are all ingredients to being able to find these kind of friends that are going to be the ones that drop things off your porch or, you know, help you find the dress for the wedding or, you know, be honest about parenting stuff. Like that's how you get there. You're right. It doesn't just happen. It's a buildup of all of these different factors. But just being open to that. You know, I think we all have to be open to that so that it can happen. And it's not going to happen with everybody, but there are people, right? But there are people that it can happen with, as long as you're like, if you're paying attention and noticing, you know, the person sitting in the cube next to you. Right?
Well, you know what? You have to be. Well, Laura was, you know, she was willing to be friends with an older woman.
Well, she was, and like you said, taking interest. Taking interest in your life, asking questions. Yeah, being curious. That's huge. Yeah, that made a difference for sure. Yeah.
Well, and you know what? She loved my kids, and that was a big.
Oh yeah,
that's a huge thing.
For sure. Yeah. Well, and that allowed her to integrate into your life, even though it was a different stage at the time.
Yes.
Because I
mean, don't you feel that way? Like people who are thoughtful with your kids and love your kids. I mean, yes. Yeah.
It's automatic in. Right. Yeah. If they care about my kids, automatic in. Yeah, for sure. Well, it becomes almost like more of like a family relationship than just friends, you know, when they care about your kids in that way. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank y'all. Thanks for sharing all the things.
You're welcome. It was so fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was such a good
really
conversation. Okay. The scheduled food fight idea. I am very intrigued and may have to steal that idea and implement it in our home. And how funny is it that Kristen sends funeral planning ideas to Laura because she's her young friend? And it probably comes in handy that Laura has professional experience in that area. I really, really have benefited from this friendship because I do feel like Kristen is able to vicariously speak into my life as a parent a few steps ahead of me. But some things that really stood out to me in this conversation were the appreciation that they both have for the honesty and the comfort that they find in the honesty that they're able to provide to one another. I think that's so important in any friendship, but specifically in a friendship where you are in different stages of your life. Because there's going to be different perspectives, but isn't that where the major value of that kind of friendship comes into place? Where the other person can be honest so that there is the ability for them to influence you because they're in a different stage of life, because they have a different perspective. The two of them respect one another so much that this has become such a foundational value to their friendship. I also loved that Kristen, as the older person in the pair, valued Laura taking interest in her life when at the time Laura didn't have kids, was just newly married. On the surface, they didn't have a lot in common in their lives. Because of Laura's intention, Kristen also became intentional in her friendship with Laura. That is something that came up over and over in this conversation, was that mutual influence that they both have over one another, which I think is such a testament to the long-standing friendship that they have despite being in very different stages of their life. So take this information, y'all, and find interest in someone that might have a different perspective or might be in a different season of their life, because there is value and encouragement even in a person that may look different from you on the surface. The information included in this podcast does not replace that of your own professional therapy. If you believe you are in need of professional assistance, please reach out to the medical community in your area. The Couch Next Door with Candace Frazier was created by me, Candace Frazier. Graphics by Jason Frazier. Music by Josh Bissell. You can find the show notes and affiliate links on CandaceFrazierLPC.com. Click on the tab podcast and you'll find all podcast related content there. I'd love to connect with you on Instagram. Find me at Candace Frazier LPC. Give the show a rating or review wherever you listen to podcasts. This really helps get the show to more listeners in the world, and I would be so grateful to see what you all are loving. Until next time, show kindness to yourself and those around you.